The 1st of April 2020. This is the Noble Queendom of Honestia with an official statement on Tibet. Your Holiness, I do not believe that it is Tibet that did it to me. Your Holiness and the secular authorities of Tibet have been involved in complex talks with the nations of the world. Therein there are leaders and celebrities, journalists and scientists among them. Incidentally, I am not aware of any dialogue with the Roman Catholic Church. The people of Tibet have been under Chinese occupation. As for the youth, Assangism must have reached them as well. Probably they have been attracted to the digital world and its attractions. With Assangism comes homosexuality, thus LGBT. Furthermore, the people of Tibet and the intellectual elite decided to make Tibet democratic. I have been warning you. From my current perspective, I am quite certain that the acclaimed Mahatma Gandhi will answer for introducing democracy in India. With the current spiritual knowledge, I can see why Muslims had to have the country of their own, although I always found it not right to divide India into India and Pakistan. The problem is clearly obvious when we think of monarchy and communism. Democracy appears to be a development of social justice, but factually, it is the road to self-degradation of the state. The rule by the lower masses over the higher elites, the latter becoming an insignificant minority in time, the former inadequate in their judgment, easy dupes for forceful superpowers. I believe Tibet was not the paradise we saw in movies and our imagination. However, it was a country of people living close to nature, the natural man. Certainly there were some modern inventions worth introducing, and knowledge of the world when meeting stable local values ought to do no harm. Nonetheless, entering the modus operandi of the world advanced technologically could not but affect values in daily lives of the traditional Tibet, either as a natural attraction or by dishonest means. Most of us are not likely to be heroes and heroines. With the occupation came the need for acknowledgement from the world that could be supportive in the strife of survival. Where the priorities had to be set, willy-nilly. The world's superpowers have the convictions of their rightness resulting from the position of power, which makes most states concede more and more. I understand the priority the people of Tibet have chosen is non-violence and survival of the culture in modern times. I have found a very tough and unbending negotiator in both Russia and the USA. The Russia has been infamous for long. The USA has been redefined, and it gradually becomes a global awareness that the USA starts with the Aboriginal people's end, which is a valid point of orientation, especially at the time of global reorientation with regard to the New World Order. I know no other person of my standpoint on the key issues. Some uplifting messages have been coming from different communities, more or less powerful or influential. Still, none has spoken the language I do. I feel lonely in that fight, but strong through the rightness backed by my noble life, particularly noble at the time of peace, even if there had been first steps aiming at the ultimate destruction taken. Still noble since the war started openly in 2009 by the attack on my core value, the personal attack on the intimate, my virginity. To wind up with controversial nobility of the nowadays. The 2009 attack clearly defines the enemy and the respect for the individual and his or her life. Even more of the definition comes from the attack on my beloved mother. I always ask, how low can you get? Sadly, they answer with real-life illustrations, where I am the heroine on the arena, and no deus ex machina, designed to save their life, is sensed throughout the drama unfolding as the complete unity of time, place, and action day by day. The unity sustained by the central figure in the play. The continuity of suffering wherever I would go, of the same perverted nature, the degenerate sexuality. Of all religions but Hinduism, yours ought to know what it means to mess the spiritual virginal with the degenerate world of formal or informal prostitutes. This is the essence, not the means. We have reached the point where I am ever more distant to your current teachings, or anyone's teachings for that matter. But I still remember the world I had been living in before the war. I have been betrayed vastly as a person, but also I believe peoples have been betrayed. I believe I have been chosen to live as the witness of truth and work on that, and work on what I am able to comprehend and embrace intellectually. I have been deprived of so much of happiness. For instance, being with children, walking freely, traveling, my own personal love life leading to the establishment of my own family, particularly valid in the context of me establishing my own queendom, the noble queendom previously called Agnipolitania, now Honestia, not to confuse it with impostors. My values are clear. The sweet solitude I could hardly imagine my life without. Had I ever ventured to imagine horrors? The financial freedom, a possibility of finding friends and developing friendships, and even my own natural application to study. Falling asleep has been becoming more and more difficult. There is absolutely no reason why I should continue my humanitarian work. In my own world, thanks to the memory of the good old days, I shall reach for what is still within my reach, and create what I shall feel like creating out of the infinity of my potential, so unsagely wasted. The life travels in two directions now. The justice that has to do with the past, and the hope that keeps us busy creating a worthwhile future or preserving the worthwhile present. My war is sacred. If you still recall your spiritual life, you will know it is true. Agnieszka Justitia, the first of Honestia, the noble queen, the guardianess of truth and justice, the protectress of the pure value, Agnipolis, the 1st of April 2020.